podcast, episode 20. We set out to make 20 of these. Why 20? Because it seemed like a manageable number and that there would be time and room to elaborate on all sorts of things, which we have done. I'm going to say quite successfully. Number 20 feels like the last day of school, although we're planning to do more. This is from 2 o'clock on the Friday of the last day of school, when the teacher just realizes that trying to control everything is futile and that the children have gone nuts and they should just serve up the cake and wait for the parents to come and pick everybody up. We have covered a lot. On the screen, we've given credit where credit is due, but not enough. So I'm going to announce some credits now. Everyone is going to get top billing. So that means I'm going to put a period at the end of each of these and then say them as if they were the first one. So Arman Zaidi is our recording engineer and much more, enthusiast and recommender of fine movies and fine YouTube videos, and we give you great thanks for all your energy to date and hope that this will continue for many, many centuries. Barbara Shepard also gets top billing for being the producer and for doing all the things that a producer does and more, which includes the transcriptions of these, making them actually say something on the screen in addition to just being computer transcribed, getting us here when we're supposed to be here on the right day, taking photographs by the zillions, all of which will be turned into a 1,000-slide slideshow. Perhaps not. I better not make predictions in case we can't do it or decide that's a ridiculous idea. That's also partly her job to say, that's a ridiculous idea. So thank you, Barbara. Our editor, who also gets top billing, is Zach Ward, W-A-R-D. And we thank Zach for doing the editing, because that's what editors do, and he brings a lot to it. We send him the materials and invite him, ask him to put it together into something that people can look at and understand, and he does that. And we're very thankful to him as well. And I also give myself top billing for having enough nerve to do this. David Wheatley. You've been hearing my name on every episode, written and spoken, so I'm giving myself extra spoken credit for doing this. I originally set out to be able to just talk about whatever popped into my head, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity to do that, have had the opportunity to do. Oh boy, I'm going to get that out there somehow. To do that. What has taken shape that I did not expect is that there is a rhyme and reason to all of this. As I look over the contents, and we have this vast transcription, and I've been writing headings on them after they're transcribed, and I have a list in front of me of the different topics, and they do have an organization to them, which I didn't really know would happen. I hoped it would happen, and it has happened. This may end up in a book. Hey, no pressure. Don't ask me all the time, hey, dude, you talked about a book. Where's the book? I'm trying to live a pressure-free life that's only pressured by the kinds of ideas that create the cognitive dissonance that makes me want to talk at the microphone, like right now. And that has largely happened. Another 20 episodes, I think would be great. At some point, there might even be a guest or two who speaks at the microphone, but I keep putting them off, and I don't even know who they are. Partly because the guests are already living in my mind. Their voices and ideas are already there. Richard Buskirk being an example, the USC guy. We're a little light on Greek philosophers, but hey, we can fill those in. I should mention that where we were recording at the podcast, celebrities come here to record as well. And it feels really great to sit here and know that people from all levels of the world have been here to do the same kind of thing that we're doing and that I'm doing. I'm even more thankful for that. Yeah, I can be celebrity affected, just like anybody else. Up in Canada, they pretend they don't care about celebrities, but they poo-poo them, but they actually don't. Same with my intellectual friends, academics, celebrity ridiculous, but still there's an attraction to it. And just ... We had an election here in LA yesterday, a primary. If you heard somebody whisper in the background, primary, you can guess who that was. We had a primary where they, sorry to say, everybody, thin the herd. It might start out with 20 or 30 names, and then that end up with 2 or 3, and then have a runoff further down the year. And when we talked about social psychology, the third category was groups and how groups are organized and how they choose their leaders. And I have expressed concern in the past that just a few people choose the leader, and that leader dominates the entire group. Well, this voting system is quite fantastic. Anybody, wherever they are in the economic spectrum or power spectrum, gets to cast a vote. So now when I look at the results of an election and see all those numbers, those are individual people got up, got in their cars or rode the bus or walked or biked to a polling place or mailed it in and cast their vote so that their wishes as far as who they wanted to be running them could be decided and that they would have a say. This is quite fantastic. I thought, so what, voting day, who cares? But this is more and more to me a big deal. This means that the people who are campaigning with all the power that it takes to campaign have been able to persuade the little person with the vote to vote for them. And the campaigner has had to engage on that level and did it, was able to pull that off. And it is my hope that they will continue to engage even after their election. The campaign promises are not just up until election day, but they actually continue onwards. I hope that is true. Episode 20. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 4 is also 20. 2 times 10 is 20. The numerologists never leave us. I'm getting in touch with my inner numerologist. If this were the last day of school and the teacher and the kids are graduating, let's say 8th grade or 12th grade, or sending the kids off in front of Doheny Library at USC, which is the one I know better than others, there'd be some sort of commencement address about going off into the world. What are my hopes for you, whoever you are, that you'll be able to take this information and think about it, and that it will help inform your decisions and expand your enjoyment of life because you know more about the world and can see it in different ways. I hope that will happen for you. I hope that your projects come to fruition and that you get the results that you seek, and that experience gives you the courage to do the next one. Steven Spielberg said one of the main reasons he does the project he's working on is to give him the courage to do the next one, and I hope that for you. I hope that Armand becomes vastly successful. He's already vastly successful, but even more, where he gets zillions of views. And to be able to say we knew him when would actually be good, because that meant we were able to assess his talents, his intangible assets early on and say, yeah, he is and was good, and we were right. We'll take credit for that, even though he does all the work and has the success. We're happy to take credit for his success by saying that we knew and that we were right. Same with Zach, and same with Barbara, and same with me. I hope that the world calms down. I hope that the way people express their cognitive dissonance can be more directed toward making projects that are a benefit to the world. I hope people will be able to share resources more than they have been. Natural resources, oil and all that, and not have to take other people's land. that they can do deals and be creative and engage in contracts to exchange things so that there's sufficient value on both sides of the agreement that people want to do it, and they both work hard to make it happen because it creates a better life individually and collectively. I hope we have fewer explosions. If we're going to have an explosion, it should at least be a box office explosion. We should not be blowing things up. I think that's bad for us. We should not have those. So I hope we will have fewer of those. I hope that people will look after people more, not to the extent that the other people stop working or they develop a learned helplessness. Well, if the person's helping me, then it must be because I'm helpless and can't do it. No, just the right amount, steering in the right direction. The equivalent of giving somebody a little boost. Even something like saying, we believe that you can do this. And we identify your intangible assets as being valuable and having potential. And we want to encourage you to keep going. It could be a verbal encouragement, could be slip somebody $20 or $100 or $500 to go out there and do their project. And it doesn't have to be this big written agreement and you're going to deliver this on this date. Even something general like, hey, we think you're good, and just, don't say anything, but I'm slipping you this $100 down to the side. And then the person takes it. Wow, do I have to do anything with it? No, it's just to encourage you. And you don't even have to let me know what happens. If you do, I'd love to hear, but just for you to know that you're good and that at least one person in the world thinks you're good. So go for it. May the force be with you. Whoa, 1970s. How are we doing for time? We're casual here. We're about to find out. Okay. 12 minutes, 12 disciples, 12 months in the year, a lot of 12s, a dozen eggs. So I got one person chuckling over here. Well, if I'm going to do all these pauses, it obviously means there's more stuff coming down the pike. So I'm already starting to think about episode 21. But right now, we're going to pause. End of the school year. It's not even end of the school year. Actually, I guess it is because it's June. And we'll be back at it soon, I hope. davidwheatley10@gmail.com. What else? Patreon. Ah, yes, Patreon. Yeah, if you want to send me $100 and to do whatever I want with it, that's cool too. That must be why I suggested that. Self-interest. And beyond that, I wish you all the best. And this is David Wheatley signing off with my great thanks for joining us. Bye for now.